I had discovered the ring a month ago. Tucked away in the back of his sock drawer, the small velvet box felt like a promise, a culmination of everything we had built. I pretended not to know, carefully burying the surprise deep in my heart, content to simply wait for the moment Alex would finally ask. Tonight, at this glittering gala, felt like that moment. The air was thick with the scent of expensive perfume and the low hum of self-important conversations. Alex was down on one knee before a woman, holding up that very same ring, its diamond catching the light of the chandeliers with a sincerity that twisted my stomach into a knot. A wave of cheers and enthusiastic applause erupted from the crowd that had gathered around them. The woman, the star of this sudden public spectacle, shyly covered her mouth with one hand, her eyes brimming with a happiness that was supposed to be mine. "Marry me, Chloe," Alex said, his voice ringing with an emotion I had longed to hear directed at me. "Chloe? My name is Mia. Everyone here, everyone in our professional and social circles knew that I was Alex's secretary. More than that, they knew I was the woman who had stood by his side for 3 long years. When his company was teetering on the edge of collapse, I was the one who worked tirelessly, helping him negotiate project after project, pulling the entire enterprise back from the brink of bankruptcy until it finally went public in New York just 6 months ago. I remembered his words to me then, whispered in the quiet of his office after a grueling all-night session. "Mia," he had said, "you've been through so much for me. Once the company goes public, I want to announce to the world that you, Mia, are my fiancée. I'm going to give you the grandest wedding imaginable." At that time, his promise had filled me with an overwhelming sense of joy, a belief that all the sacrifice had been worthwhile. Now, looking back, I could see it for what it was, an empty promise, a carefully crafted manipulation to keep me by his side. A bitter laugh escaped my lips, a hollow sound that was thankfully lost in the celebratory noise. How many years had I dedicated to loving Alex? And for how many of those years had he been taking advantage of that love? Alex slid the diamond ring onto Chloe's finger, and the two of them embraced, sealing the betrayal. Through the shifting bodies of the crowd, Chloe's eyes found mine. A slow, victorious smile spread across her face, a clear message of triumph. After a moment, Alex let go of Chloe and slowly turned towards me. The radiant smile on his lips gradually faded, replaced by a solemn, almost guilty expression. This was the man I had loved for 3 years, and even now, in the face of his public deceit, he didn't have the courage to be honest with me. Chloe, however, possessed a bravery born of cruelty. She walked towards me, a wine glass held delicately in her hand. She raised it slightly, a mocking toast. "Hello, Miss Mia, I'm Chloe." I remained silent, my expression unreadable. Chloe smiled gently, a performance of polite condescension. "Alex has told me all about you two," she continued. "He's very grateful for all your help over these years. He wanted me to ask how much money you need. Just name your price." Her words were so absurd they actually made me laugh out loud. Money? Could he even afford to pay what I was worth? Chloe picked up another glass of wine from a nearby server's tray and handed it to me. "Have a drink as a blessing for us." Her ignorance was genuinely amusing. Seeing the disdain in my eyes, Chloe's victorious expression finally began to waver. Guilt has a way of making people ugly. She stepped closer, leaning into my ear to whisper so only I could hear. "Mia, I know about your feelings for Alex, but you're just a little secretary. Don't dream of climbing so high." Just then, Alex's parents arrived, their faces etched with the same smug satisfaction. Alex's mother adopted a haughty tone immediately. "Mia," she said, looking down her nose at me, "I think you can see that the right person for Alex has returned. Even if Chloe hadn't come back, I would never allow someone like you to marry into our Lynn family. You must understand, class boundaries are insurmountable." I pondered her words for a moment. Climbing high, boundaries? All this fuss for their family's few billion in assets? I chuckled lightly, a sound that seemed to unnerve them. "All right then," I said, my voice steady. "You should defend your high place and your boundaries well. After all, I have the ability to lift you high, and I also have the ability to throw you to the ground." With that, I turned and walked away, pulling out my phone. I dialed my father's number. Dad, I said calmly, about that small company acquisition we discussed. Let me handle it. The next time I saw Alex was at the company meeting the following morning. It was clear he was avoiding me, not even daring to meet my gaze. Once everyone had gathered in the conference room, the meeting began. I sat in my usual chair beside Alex, where I was expected to take minutes, but I didn't move to open my notebook. Instead, I gently clapped my hands twice, a sharp sound that drew everyone's attention. Everyone, I announced into the sudden silence, I have an announcement to make. I am resigning from my position as the CEO's secretary. I placed a crisp resignation letter on the polished conference table and continued, my voice clear and unwavering amid the shocked looks. Thank you all for your support over the past 3 years. I'll see you in the future. With that, I stood up and walked out of the room without a single backward glance at Alex. I could hear the murmurs behind me. Someone said, Boss, Mia has made huge contributions to the company over these 3 years. Without her, we wouldn't have gone public so quickly. What's going on? A moment later, Alex chased after me, catching up to me in the hallway, slightly out of breath. Mia, if you're resigning because of me, I'll offer you more money. Just name your price. He looked genuinely panicked. I smirked. Then give me the company. Alex closed his eyes for a moment, frustrated. I know you hate me, but Mia, business is business, and personal is personal. You can't mix them up. Have I ever mistreated you in the years you've been at the company? But I just love mixing business with personal, I replied coolly. Alex paused, the stern look on his face slowly dissolving as a cold, ruthless expression took its place. Mia, are you willing to go against me? I tilted my head, feigning curiosity. Are you threatening me? He took a step closer. I'm just saying we shouldn't become enemies. It won't do you any good, he continued, evidently trying to smother my anger with a veiled warning. I owe you an explanation, and I owe you for your feelings. I'll repay them. But Mia, we shouldn't be enemies. I patiently listened to him finish his little speech, then smiled. You do owe me, I agreed, but I don't need you to repay it. I'll get it back myself. See you around, Alex. I gave him a small wave, went back to my desk to pack my few personal things, and left the company for good, throwing everything related to that chapter of my life into the nearest trash can. I went straight to my father's office downtown, a sprawling space overlooking the city. He was waiting for me. I've heard everything, he said, his voice a mixture of anger and relief. Your mother and I have told you time and again that those people aren't worthy of you. Now you should understand, too. They're just a bunch of ingrates. He looked at me sternly. Mia, I don't want you to go soft on them. I shook my head. I won't. My resolve wasn't just because Alex had proposed to another woman or because I finally realized he didn't love me. It was because, in the harsh light of his betrayal, I finally understood that this man was utterly unworthy of me. But it seemed my father didn't quite believe in my newfound ruthlessness. The company recently plans to collaborate with Ethan's group, he said, changing the subject. If you really want me to believe you, marry Ethan. I was taken aback. Are you seriously setting me up for an arranged marriage? He nodded. This will be a highly beneficial union, and I can't let it slip by. Anyway, you're only after profit right now, aren't you? He was right. As for Ethan, he was a businessman through and through, and he naturally understood the stakes. We hit it off right away, not in a romantic sense, but as two professionals recognizing a mutually advantageous opportunity. After signing the prenuptial agreement, we went to register our marriage. After the simple registration process, I turned to my new husband. Are you heading back to your company? I asked. I'd like to discuss our joint project so we can get it rolling as soon as possible. Ethan had an almost perfect face, classically handsome, but his personality was anything but warm. He was cold and kept people at a significant distance. From the moment we began discussing the marriage up to the point of actually getting married, I hadn't seen him smile even once. Ethan finally spoke, his voice as emotionless and chilly as his demeanor. I'm going on a business trip. Okay, I replied, undeterred. We'll talk when you get back. I got into my own car, and as I buckled my seatbelt, Ethan's driver had already started the engine and pulled away. I went back to my father's company and headed straight to his office, placing the marriage certificate on his desk. You can relax now, I told him. He nodded, satisfied. Hmm, how have you arranged things over there? Before I could answer, he continued, Now isn't the time to announce your marriage to Ethan, but if you want to give Alex a shock, there are plenty of ways to do it. I smiled. My dad really understood me. I was indeed planning to give Alex a shock, and I already had a plan. In my 3 years at his company, I had built a considerable network. I was going to take it all back, piece by piece. For now, I plan to start my own company and compete with him directly. The acquisition could wait. I believe in you, my dad said. I can still hold the fort here so you can play around for a few more years. Thanks, Dad. Not going straight for the acquisition, but starting a company to compete with Alex and seize his market share was just for fun. I leaked the news about my new venture, and it quickly reached Alex's ears. I didn't care about the perceived downgrade in my social circle. This was all just a game to me now. But Alex's friends were already claiming I was out of my league. Upon hearing about my sudden marriage, my best friend Jenny was eager to get the full story and invited me to a bar for drinks. You just married Ethan like that? She exclaimed, her voice a mix of shock and disbelief. That's crazy. I can't accept it. Jenny is the cherished princess of her family, pampered and with no need to manage any company, content to just spend money every day. She once told me she had to marry the love of her life and have a grand, dreamy, forest-themed wedding that would be broadcast globally. Actually, I told her, sipping my cocktail, Ethan and I are a perfect match. In this world, only we are truly worthy of each other. A handsome man and a beautiful woman, with similar strengths and a mutually beneficial partnership. Who says we don't go together? Just then, Alex's buddy, Marcus, showed up, a young woman I didn't recognize clinging to his arm. Holding his drink, Marcus let go of the girl when he saw me and slid into the booth next to me. Is this our great Mia? He sneered. You quit. That's some guts. I raised my glass to him. Thanks for the compliment. Marcus paused, then let out a derisive laugh. Mia, you really think I'm complimenting you? I'm not. I heard you're starting a company, planning to go head-to-head with Alex. Have you been drinking too much? Are you delusional? What's wrong with you? I've never seen a girl so out of her league. He sighed dramatically and shook his head. I know Alex and Chloe made up and got engaged. You're hurt and upset, so you're acting out, you poor little thing. How about this? You serve me well tonight, and I'll ask Alex to give you a break. Deal. I picked up a nearby champagne bottle and shook it. Marcus, you're still as wild as ever, but your mouth is filthy. Here, let me do you a favor and clean it for you. Free of charge. The champagne cork popped off with a loud bang, and the fizzy spray shot straight into Marcus's face, catching him completely off guard. Dropping the bottle, I stepped onto the cushioned seat and planted my high heel firmly on his chest, applying just enough pressure to make my point. How does that feel? I asked sweetly. Want another bottle? I've got plenty of money. Marcus wiped the champagne from his face, his eyes glaring at me. Don't get cocky, Mia. Alex used to protect you, which is why you were so arrogant. But now your protection is gone. The money you made from working for Alex isn't enough to show off to me. Just wait. I'll show you what class and capital really are. Don't say I bullied you. I withdrew my foot. All right, I said, my voice dripping with amusement. I'll be waiting to see you show me what capital is. Marcus got up and stormed away, his arrogant back providing a truly amusing sight. My father had always taught me to be low-key. With our family's assets, I never felt the need to brag. Why did these small-timers with just a few billion love to act so self-important? Marcus and Alex were both the same. I shook my head and looked at the young woman who had come with Marcus. Stay away from him, I advised. He's too dirty. The girl walked over, her eyes wide with admiration. You were so cool just now, and you have a great figure and long legs. Can I have your contact information? Jenny burst out laughing and threw an arm around me. Nope, she's mine. The girl smiled sweetly. Okay, I'll listen to you, bye. Marcus probably went to whine to Alex because I soon got a call from him. Don't mind Marcus's words, Alex said, his voice strained. I've talked to him. He won't bother you again. But Mia, starting a company really isn't a wise move. Wise or not, it's just a game to me, I replied. Thanks for the warning, but I'll decide what's wise for myself. Alex went silent for a moment before his tone hardened. Mia, this is the last time I'll say this. I don't want to become your enemy, but I won't hold back either. I'll be waiting, I said, and hung up. Alex's harsh words would surely turn into action. If he was going to be ruthless, he shouldn't blame me for being even more so. I got so busy with my new company that I almost forgot I was married. Half a month later, I got a call from Ethan asking where I was. I'm home, I said. I hadn't been going out much lately because I simply hadn't had the time. Ethan's calm voice came through the phone. I'm at home too, but I haven't seen you. I was confused for a second. What's that supposed to mean? I'm at my home. You don't need to try and trick me. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing. There was a pause. Ethan, do you have anything else to say? His voice was patient. Which home are you talking about? Of course I'm at my home, I insisted, and then it hit me. We had a new home. His villa, which had been renovated a long time ago, but we hadn't lived in it yet. He had even given me the keys. But after we registered, he went on his business trip, and I had been staying at my own place. Having another home all of a sudden was something I wasn't used to. Since it's late today, I said, recovering quickly, I'll go there tomorrow. Okay, Ethan agreed. The next day, after breakfast, I got busy with company matters again. The early stages of work are always complicated, and I'm the type who insists on doing everything myself, so I was running around like crazy all day. By the time I finally got home, my parents' home, it was already after 6 in the evening. I dragged my exhausted body onto the living room couch. My mom came downstairs, spinning around in a new dress. Honey, how do I look? Beautiful, I said, getting up. Mom, this dress is really beautiful. My mom smiled. You have one too. It's in your walk-in closet. Go try it on. I quickly went upstairs and found the dress. No lie, it highlighted my figure perfectly. I was admiring myself in the mirror when my phone rang. It was Ethan. My heart sank. I remembered my promise and hurriedly grabbed my bag, rushing downstairs. Mom, I have to go. My mom followed me for a few steps. Where are you going? Home, I called back. Isn't this your home? She asked, confused. I turned around. Mom, I'm married. My mom's eyes widened. Is Ethan back? I nodded. I definitely inherited this kind of absent-mindedness from her. When I arrived at our new home, the housekeeper informed me that Ethan was in the study. I hesitated at the door for a moment before knocking and going in. Ethan looked up from his papers. For a split second, his expression seemed to brighten, but maybe I was just seeing things. I suddenly felt nervous and said, a bit dryly, I've been really busy lately and might come home late sometimes. Don't wait up for me. Ethan lowered his head again, his focus returning to his work. This guy was such an iceberg. Just being around him made the hair on your arms stand up. I was about to leave when he spoke again. I just asked if you wanted to come back for dinner. All right, I nodded, then added, you keep working. I'll head out now. I rushed out of the study, fearing I would freeze to death if I stayed in there any longer. I stood in the hallway, a bit dazed. Which room was mine? It would be too embarrassing to go downstairs and ask someone. Just then, I heard a slight noise behind me and turned to see Ethan stepping out of the study. It was surprising. He seemed like a complete workaholic. Do you need something? He asked, looking a bit confused. I hesitated for a moment before asking directly, where do I stay? His silence made me feel like I had done something wrong. I admitted, all right, I've been staying at my own place these past few days. Ethan walked over and opened a door. Here. I quickly followed him inside. The walk-in closet is next to it, he added. Thanks. This didn't feel like a married couple at all. It was less intimate than being strangers. But maybe it was for the best. We could think of ourselves as partners. Though I didn't expect my so-called partner to be so considerate, despite his icy exterior. After dinner, I went to take a bath. When I came out, wrapped in a towel, I saw Ethan sitting on the living room couch with his laptop. It seemed he was planning to sleep in here too. So we were really going to be like a married couple now. I looked down at my towel, pulled it up a bit, and walked over. "I'm done with my bath," I said. "You can use the bathroom now." He didn't respond. I repeated, "Go take a bath." Ethan paused, looked at me, then at his laptop, then closed it and headed to the bathroom. Did he misunderstand something? I only said it again because the silence was awkward, not because I was rushing him. I closed my eyes in frustration. After a while, Ethan came out in his pajamas. I was lying on the bed chatting with Jenny. She had texted, "Do you think you two will have a romantic night?" I typed back, "How would I know?" and then locked my phone and put it aside. I smiled stiffly at Ethan. It was the first time I realized just how stiff and forced my own smile could be. He got on the bed, and as he got closer, my heart started pounding crazily. I thought it might explode. But then a thought reassured me. Ethan is so cold and abstinent looking, it's probably not a big deal. I felt a bit more relaxed. Ethan's deep voice suddenly sounded by my ear. "Do you want the light off?" I was startled. "No, I'm not sleepy yet. No need to turn it off." "Okay," he responded. Why was he moving closer? That's not what I meant. The next morning, I woke up in Ethan's arms. The thought of him opening his eyes and looking at me made me cringe. I gently tried to move his hand from my waist, but despite my light touch, he woke up. What was supposed to happen had finally happened. Our eyes met, and I felt so embarrassed my scalp tingled. I opened my mouth, feeling like I must look like someone without a brainstem. After a moment, I finally managed to say, "Morning." The response was an awkward silence. In my mind, I was cursing myself from head to toe. What the heck was that morning about? Ethan had probably never encountered this situation before either, because he paused for a long moment and then simply said, "Morning." The next second, we both separated, and I quickly got out of bed and headed to the bathroom. Before I could even start brushing my teeth, Ethan walked in. We just stared at each other, neither of us knowing what to do next. It was my first time being married. I had no experience. I felt like a guest and thought I should be a bit reserved, so I said, "Why don't you go first?" Ethan pointed to the vanity. "I'm showering." "All right," I nodded. Ethan turned around to grab a towel. In my heart, I cried out to my mom. The bathroom door was made of glass. Getting married was not great. Ethan just turned, went into the bathroom, undressed, and started the shower right away. He wasn't even embarrassed. Truly a big shot. Looks like I had a lot to learn. The exhausting bathroom routine finally ended. I got dressed and went downstairs. When I got to the corner of the staircase, I saw someone sitting on the sofa. He waved at me. "Hey." I paused, then quickened my steps to go shake hands with him. "I'm Owen," he said cheerfully. "Grew up with Ethan. Even studied abroad together. Let's just say we were so close we wore the same diaper as kids, and now we practically share one pair of pants." I laughed at his words. Ethan came down the stairs slowly, stopped beside me, and coldly asked Owen, "Why are you here?" Owen put on a mischievous smile. "Just came to see when you and sis-in-law got up." "So early? Weren't you too tired last night?" "Get lost," Ethan kicked at Owen, looking displeased. Owen quickly put away his joking expression. "Sorry, sis-in-law. I just have a loose tongue, but my heart's in the right place." I smiled and said, "It's fine, just kidding around." But Ethan didn't let up. "Some jokes aren't okay. You should watch it." Owen nodded, chastened. My heart felt a slight tug. Thinking back, it seemed Alex had never once stood up for me in front of his buddies. Once you see the truth, everything that came before becomes clear, and you realize how foolish it was to be blind back then. I let out a soft laugh, then realized the coldness in my own smile and quickly corrected it. "This is Owen, chairman of Y Group. If you need anything, you can ask him." Ethan introduced me. Of course I knew Y Group. Its business overlapped with Alex's group by over 90%. It was a leading company in the industry. Was Ethan helping me build connections? Did he know something? "Yeah," Owen said, patting his chest. "I heard you started your own company." If you need anything, just ask. I might look unreliable, but I'm really capable. That's great, I said. I won't be shy then. I'll be relying on you a lot in the future. Mutually beneficial, mutually beneficial. Owen laughed loudly. For some reason, Ethan kicked him again, harder this time. Around 10, I got a call from Mr. Henderson, a senior board member from Alex's company wanting to meet. I had a good guess about what he wanted to talk about. Sure enough, as soon as we met, he got straight to the point. Mia, I've talked with the board. Everyone wants you back. Your contributions over the past 3 years are obvious to everyone. Let me be frank. The company needs you. You can name your terms. Mr. Henderson genuinely cared about the company, but Alex would never admit that. He thought he had it all under control. I had felt him trying to suppress me these past few days. With a slight smirk, I replied, "You're giving me too much credit. I'm just a secretary. The company without me is like a fish without a bicycle. It's no big deal." Mr. Henderson's expression grew a bit serious. "I've heard about your new company. You're capable, but going solo isn't easy. I understand your ambition, but I'm still telling you, coming back is a win-win for everyone." "I'm not coming back," I said firmly. Mr. Henderson paused, then nodded resignedly. "All right. I guess I'm old and powerless. Alex has brought Chloe into the company, even given her important positions. It's a huge mistake, and now you won't come back either." Saying that, Mr. Henderson sighed heavily. A spark of fire ignited within me. Alex brought Chloe into the company? That just made things more convenient for me. I could deal with both of them at the same time. My dad, in his usual extravagant fashion, straight up gave me a 32-story building for my new office. "Dad, that's just too much," I told him. "My company is just starting. A small place will do." "Small place?" he mused. "No. You pick a spot and we'll buy it." That evening, I called Jenny to help me scout for a location. As soon as I hung up, Ethan's voice came from behind me. "You want a smaller place?" "Yeah, the company's just starting. No need for something that big," I said, walking over to him. "Do you have any recommendations?" No, but I have a small place. Want to check it out tomorrow?" he asked. "Sure," I nodded. But what kind of small place could a man like Ethan possibly have? I found out the next day. Compared to the skyscrapers my dad was offering, this place was indeed small, just 7 stories. Ethan took me inside. Everything was new and fully equipped. I wouldn't need to buy a single thing. "Happy with it?" Ethan asked. "Of course it's great," I said, "and it's one less thing for me to worry about. Are you really going to sell this to me? Won't you miss it? The decor here looks very well thought out. You must really like it." Ethan glanced around the space. "Yeah, I bought this right after high school. It was my first company." I was a bit surprised, so it had sentimental value. "And you're still willing to sell it to me? You won't regret it?" Ethan shifted his gaze back to me, silently staring. "Not really," I said, backtracking. "I just wanted to ask." I understood that if it were me, I wouldn't part with such a meaningful place either. "Then why bring me here?" "So I'm thinking of giving it to you," he said simply. "Giving it to me?" "For free, but—" Ethan's eyebrows raised slightly, his usually calm eyes holding some emotion I couldn't quite read. "But what?" I chuckled. "So Ethan also makes deals that lose money, huh?" He replied thoughtfully, "I plan to get my returns." Yeah, that made sense. It was like casting a long line to catch a big fish. On my company's opening day, Alex even sent a flower basket. Did he think that made him seem generous? I had his flower basket thrown out straight away. To me, that wasn't generosity. It was bad luck. Ethan's flower basket was much nicer. Owen also came. "Congratulations, congratulations. Just like I said before, if you need any help, just let me know. We're all in the same circle, sharing resources and all that." "Then I won't be polite about it," I said, patting Owen's shoulder. I had really grown to like this guy over time. After the ribbon-cutting ceremony, I took everyone inside for a tour. My parents didn't come, nor did Ethan. Ethan didn't come because we hadn't gone public with our relationship yet. Businessmen value profit, and announcing our marriage would bring great benefits to both our families. Stock prices would soar, so we needed to time it perfectly to maximize those benefits. My dad didn't come because I didn't want him to. I was playing a little game with Alex right now. If my dad got involved, what would be the fun in that? There was also a dinner party in the evening, and I invited some of my old friends from my social circle. Of course, Jenny was there, and Owen too. I was chatting with Owen when Jenny nudged me and looked towards the entrance of the banquet hall. It was Alex and Chloe. I had invited Alex, after all. I needed to appear generous too. I walked over with a smile. Welcome. There's a crowd, so I'm sorry I couldn't greet you properly. Alex scanned the room. Lots of people here, that's your strength. You have a wide network. I smiled without replying. But I haven't seen any of these people before, Chloe whispered to him. Of course you haven't. These are the real big shots. They don't show up easily. Who have you met in your little circle? At that moment, Owen walked over and stood next to me. Seeing him, Alex was clearly surprised. He looked at me incredulously. I raised an eyebrow. I don't need to introduce you two, do I? You guys have dealt with each other several times. Alex's expression stiffened, but he quickly recovered and extended his hand to Owen with a smile. Hello. Owen slowly reached out his hand, but just as they were about to shake, he scratched the back of his head and said, Who are you? Have we met? I clearly saw Alex's eye twitch. Owen patted me on the shoulder. Everyone's waiting. I'll go help you entertain them. He raised an eyebrow at me and walked away. Alex stepped closer. Since when are you and Owen so close? Was he questioning me? It seemed Alex had asked a question he shouldn't have. This is my private business. Alex's jaw tightened, and he stared at me as if trying to see through me. He was getting anxious. Just then, his phone vibrated. He answered it, and whatever was said on the other end made him frown and glare at Chloe. She froze. I understand, Alex said into the phone, then hung up. He pressed his lips together and asked Chloe in a low voice, Did you sign the final plan for that project? Chloe nodded hesitantly. Yes, I signed it. What's wrong? Alex ground his teeth and glanced at me before pulling Chloe towards the balcony. What was going on? I needed to check on my guests anyway. I followed them. Alex's slightly angry voice drifted from the balcony. How did you not notice such an obvious data error? Do you know how much this is going to cost the company? Chloe frantically explained. I double-checked everything thoroughly. How could there be a mistake? Now they've come to us about it. Do you think I framed you? Alex questioned sternly. A few seconds later, Chloe's sobs came through. Why are you yelling at me? I didn't do it on purpose. When they came back inside, Chloe's eyes were red. Seeing me, she immediately lowered her head. Alex paused as if he wanted to say something, but thought better of it. I smiled slightly. You're my guest. If there's anything I didn't do well, please let me know. Don't argue. Alex's face darkened, and he said, I have something to take care of, then left with Chloe. No wonder Mr. Henderson had come to see me. If this continued, I wouldn't even need to do anything. His company would collapse on its own. Why did they leave? Owen leaned over and whispered. I smiled. Internal issues. Owen's face lit up with schadenfreude. You've barely left and they're having internal issues already? They can't handle it. They'll destroy themselves from the inside. It seemed even Owen knew about me and Alex. How much did Ethan know? I pulled Owen over to the balcony, hesitating a bit before asking, You know about me and Alex? Owen replied nonchalantly, Yeah, I do. I swallowed and continued to ask, How much? Pretty much everything, he replied. I haven't made my relationship with Alex public. How do you know? He squinted his eyes. You forgot? We've crossed paths before. While I never really paid attention to Alex, you made things pretty rough for me once. What did that have to do with knowing about me and Alex? At most, he should know I was Alex's strategist. Owen paused, his face showing confusion. Huh? You and Alex aren't just boss and subordinate? Is there more to it? Why wasn't I denying it? He squinted slightly. You two have something? Old flames? Fallen out? My silence was practically an admission. He suddenly got excited. I thought you two fell out over business stuff, and that's why you left to start your own thing. I didn't expect you two to be exes. Stop it, I begged. So did Ethan think the same? Then I was doomed. If Owen knew, how far behind could Ethan be? Owen insisted on driving me home that night, probably to snitch on me to Ethan. I had to butter him up. Once we were in the villa, I immediately had the housekeeper make tea for him. Oh, when are you free? Come over and I'll cook for you. Owen looked surprised. You can cook? What's your name? Just call me Mia, I said with a friendly smile. He glanced over my shoulder, looking a bit nervous. Isn't that inappropriate? What's inappropriate? You and Ethan are so close, practically brothers. We can be that close too. But suddenly, Owen stood up, supporting himself on the couch. I hadn't even finished speaking. Like he'd seen a ghost, he started inching toward the door. It's getting late. I should go. Before I knew it, he had turned and bolted out of there. Weird, I muttered. As soon as I turned around, I let out a loud scream. When did Ethan show up? Why didn't you make any noise? Were you trying to scare me to death? I thought, but what came out of my mouth was, hi. I wanted to crawl into a hole. Mia, you idiot. Why do you always mess up in front of Ethan? Did I scare you? He asked plainly, though he didn't look the least bit guilty. I quickly shook my head, not wanting him to feel bad for me. No. He gave me a cold stare. Really? I thought I did. You even started talking nonsense. My mind raced, but I couldn't figure out what I had said that was nonsense. Regardless, I could tell he was in a foul mood. So, I decided to keep my distance. Then I'll head upstairs now. You should rest too. Don't work too hard. With that, he went upstairs, leaving me with his cold, indifferent back. What the heck? Why was he taking his bad mood out on me? I grumbled to myself and went upstairs. He wasn't in the room. Great. Tonight I was not going to give in to him. In the middle of the night, I fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, I woke up feeling full of grievances, muttering softly, You got mad outside and took it out on me. I didn't get mad outside, Ethan replied, finally breaking the silence. Confused, I turned to look at him. Outside, no one would dare make me angry. Then who? It couldn't have been me, right? I suspected Owen had ticked off Ethan. Owen had a sharp tongue and could annoy people in no time. Damn him. He got me into this mess. I needed to get some sort of compensation from him to soothe my wounded soul, but Owen denied it. How could it be? Ethan would never get mad at me. Do you think it's appropriate to say that to Ethan's wife? I asked. Just then, Ethan called Owen. He chuckled, showing me his phone, and picked up the call in front of me. Now? In such a hurry? Okay, I'll head over now. Hanging up, Owen said, Ethan needs me urgently. I'll talk to you later. Watching him leave, I pondered deeply. Had my presence somehow disrupted their bromance? With this suspicion, I returned to the office. It was interview day and extremely busy. At 6, I got a call from Ethan. Do you have time tonight? He asked. I only had a few small tasks to finish, so I said I was free. I'll come pick you up, he replied calmly. All right, I said, and hung up. But why was he coming to pick me up? About 20 minutes later, I got another call saying he was downstairs. I had already packed up, so I grabbed my bag and went down. As soon as I got into the car, Ethan handed me a bouquet of red roses. My mind buzzed. You're not trying to court me, are you, Ethan? The driver in the front seat kept silent, making the car interior eerily quiet. In this strange atmosphere, Ethan's usually handsome and calm face showed a hint of red. He was blushing. Like discovering a new continent, I stared at him, refusing to look away. Being able to see Ethan blush was a first. Was I the first person in history to ever see this? He cleared his throat to cover his embarrassment. With a serious look in his eyes, he said firmly, Yes, I am courting you. It felt like a thunderclap over my head and my mind went blank. But then I looked at him and found him incredibly adorable. His unexpectedly cute side was something only I could see. I couldn't help but laugh. What's so funny? He frowned. Isn't this how you court someone? Owen said so. So he had consulted Owen for advice. That made sense. Ethan wouldn't know how to court someone on his own. No, it's not that, I said, seeing his doubting expression. I quickly explained, I didn't mean it like that. Taking the bouquet from him, I said, this is how you court someone, so what's next? Ethan, always serious, replied, dinner and a movie. I booked a restaurant and movie tickets. It was hard to imagine what it would be like to date someone as serious as him. The very thought of it made me want to laugh, not because it was funny, but because it was cute. All right, I nodded. The driver started the engine. Ethan fell silent again. I turned my head, and noticing my gaze, he looked back at me as if to ask what was on my mind. Clearing my throat, I asked, Ethan, can I ask you a really personal question? He glanced at the driver. What? Where was his mind going? Have you ever been in a relationship before? No. I couldn't help but ask, is it because you never met someone you liked? Sort of, he said after a pause. I've always been too busy. I nodded in understanding. That made sense with how busy he always was. So, when you married me, you really just saw our marriage as a business arrangement, didn't you? Considering the status and power of both our families, our marriage was definitely a case of 1 + 1 being greater than 2. So, when my dad suggested I marry Ethan, I agreed immediately, because back then, all I cared about was my career. I think he and I probably had the same thoughts back then. Ethan gave me an answer. At first, yeah. Huh? I leaned in closer to him. What about now? His expression shifted, and even his ears turned red. He glanced at the driver again, looking a bit awkward. I sent you flowers. It means, you know, I like you. I had so many other questions, but with the driver around, he probably didn't feel comfortable answering. I decided to wait until we got home. He had reserved a restaurant under his own brand, one with great privacy. For our movie, he bought the seats in the back row in the corner. I figured even if he liked me, he still had a lot on his mind, probably thinking about when the time would be right to make our relationship public and maximize the benefit from our alliance. I suddenly felt a sense of loss. Mia, what are you even hoping for? When you start hoping, that's when you lose. I've already lost once. I won't let myself lose again. I would manage my marriage well. Besides, he liked me now, but I wouldn't dive in head first like I used to. I devoted all my energy to work. The company started to stabilize. Although it couldn't compare to Alex's publicly listed company, it was showing steady growth. Considering the current economic climate, I was pretty satisfied. Plus, I had strong connections and had snatched a few major projects from Alex. Finally, he couldn't take it anymore. At a business banquet, he dragged me to a secluded corner, glaring at me angrily. Mia, you're just getting back at me, aren't you? I laughed openly. Do you even need to ask? He hadn't expected me to admit it so easily and paused for a moment before bursting into a proud, arrogant laugh. You hate me, Mia. You must hate my guts, don't you? I tilted my head slightly, smiling at him. He took a step forward, closing the distance between us. He leaned in close to my ear and whispered, Do you know why you hate me? I'll tell you why. Because you still love me, Mia. With love comes hate. You love me. He was ruthless. If he was right, his words would be a sharp knife, slicing my heart piece by piece and throwing it into the cold wind. I had told him that he was harsh, but I would be even harsher, but I needed to point out that he was wrong. So very wrong. I met his smug gaze. Do you know how I feel when I see you now? Like I'm looking at a fly. Do you like flies? I curled my lips, deliberately giving a bright, enchanting smile. I don't hate you. I just dislike you and regret ever liking you. His face darkened immediately. As if unwilling to accept it, he grabbed my head and tried to kiss me. I turned my head away, and he missed. Suddenly, a broken voice sounded out. Alex, what are you doing? We both turned at the same time to see Chloe standing not far away, wearing a silver white gown, her hair styled in a low bun with a jade hairpin. The dangling pearls on the hairpin and her earrings swayed, matching the tears on her face. So beautiful, yet so fragile, like she'd break with a touch. Men love this type, wanting to protect them with their lives. Alex slowly let go of me, gave me one last look, and walked towards her. "It's nothing, let's go," he said in a low voice. Chloe was good at this, never making a fuss, just following him obediently. As they walked out of the banquet hall, she glanced back at me, the tears in her eyes turning to a cold gleam. I suddenly felt disgusted, revolted by Alex. I got a call from Chloe. I wasn't surprised. In the cafe, we sat across from each other. She had that quiet yet unattainably high demeanor. "Mia, Alex and I are getting married." "Congratulations," I said, raising an eyebrow. She chuckled. "No need for that. I know you envy me. You still like Alex, but he's marrying me." She slowly stopped smiling, looking out the window. "Maybe to you it doesn't seem like Alex loves me that much, but he still chose to marry me. That's men for you. They always put benefit first." She looked back at me, a bit of smugness in her eyes. "Because I can help him, Mia. Blame your background. Without a strong family, it's normal that he wouldn't choose you. I met you today just to tell you that what happened last night, I don't want it happening again. Mia, you are not my opponent. I admit you're beautiful, but your ordinary background means you'll never be my match. I don't want to hurt you, so don't force me. Even in this era of justice, my family has ways to make someone unemployable. Consider yourself warned." After saying this, Chloe left. I replayed her words in my mind, finding them funnier each time. I held my stomach and laughed for a while, then took a deep breath and left. As soon as I got in my car, Alex called. He said he wanted to talk to me. I was getting impatient. My whole day wasted by these two. My time is precious. But I thought Alex and I wouldn't end up never speaking again. I still needed to see his downfall personally. So I agreed to meet. He chose a spot on the hillside, with lush forests in front and a wide road behind. Cars occasionally sped by. He looked forward and slowly began. "Chloe and I are getting married. Your future wife already told me." He turned to me. "But you know what, Mia? I just realized I'm in love with you." "What the hell?" I looked at him like he was an idiot. But in his eyes, my look probably seemed excited and loving. He actually said, "If you're willing, we can still be together. I just can't offer you marriage." He smiled softly, even tenderly. "We can even have our own kids. Don't worry, I'll treat them the same as Chloe's. I might even treat our kids better. I can give everything to our kids except for a legal status." He looked at me condescendingly. "How about it? I've spilled my heart out to you. Anything you want to say? Mia, you're a smart woman. It's tough to cross the class divide, but with me, I can take you into high society. I've changed, you know that. I can give you everything you want, except marriage." He got more excited and suddenly grabbed my shoulders. "Isn't that enough for you?" I smiled and beckoned him closer with my finger. He smiled back, thinking he had won, and lowered his head to kiss me. I slapped him hard across the face. The sound was crisp and loud. He was stunned, but then anger took over. "Mia, are you serious? Do you have any idea what you're turning down? You want to marry me? That's never going to happen. But like I said, you'll have everything Chloe has and more, because I owe you. I'll do my best to make it up to you. What more do you want?" "Idiot," I said, then got in my car and drove off. I really shouldn't have come. It felt like I was chewing on maggots. The man I had just seen had thrown away even the last bit of dignity he had. I didn't want to see Alex again. I didn't even feel like getting revenge anymore. I didn't want to see Chloe either. I just hoped she would take care of herself. But I ended up seeing them again. I received an invitation from an exclusive dinner event. It's an elite secret society for top-tier intellectuals. Only the top people in each field get invited. I got the invite because of my parents. It was a great networking opportunity, so of course I decided to go. As soon as I got out of the car, I saw Alex and Chloe. They seemed surprised. "Mia, what are you doing here?" I ignored them and walked straight in. Behind me, I heard Chloe laughing. "She must be here as arm candy. At these events, the further down the social ladder you go, the more common people show up. She had a bit of a point. I went in with my invitation. The place was already filling up. As soon as I entered, a queenly woman, Sophia, came to greet me. Miss Mia, welcome, welcome. Tonight is your night. We've all been waiting for you. I kept a smile on my face. Chloe was right about one thing. At these events, there's usually only one top dog. It's not like those soap operas where multiple big shots fight each other. And tonight, I was the top dog, all thanks to my parents. They knew me because I had attended once with my mom a few years ago. This time, I was here on my own. As soon as I sat down, Alex and Chloe walked in. They introduced themselves intimately to everyone except me, pretending I wasn't there as they made their way to Sophia. She glanced at their invitations and frowned. Who sent these to you? They hesitated. Then Chloe answered. It was sent in the name of the dinner event itself. Sophia nodded. All right, go sit over there. They glanced at me but didn't dare make a scene, heading to a corner instead. They only dared to act proud around me. After some eating, drinking, and chatting, everyone started taking photos. I was seated at the center, but Chloe pulled me up. She wasn't rough, just overly friendly, smiling as she pointed to the seat at the far end. Mia, you sit there. Sophia looked at her incredulously. What did you say? Chloe kept smiling. Sorry, it's Mia's first time at an event like this. She doesn't know the rules. Mia, you cannot sit at the center. Alex seemed to think I was embarrassing him too. Where did you get your invitation, Mia? This isn't the place for your antics. Just leave. I was deeply annoyed by these two idiots. Did they not notice everyone being respectful to me? People around us started whispering. Alex, thinking I was embarrassing him, grabbed my arm to lead me outside. Just leave now. We'll talk later. What are you doing? Sophia questioned sternly. Alex looked apologetic. I'm sorry. I'll take her out now. Sophia shook his hand off. Miss Mia is my esteemed guest. Who are you to take her away? He was confused. What? Sophia didn't even want to waste words on them. Embarrassed, she called for security. Please escort these two out. Someone in the crowd spoke up. They seemed to know Miss Mia well. Another replied, How could Miss Mia have such friends? Did you think anyone could be friends with our family's heiress? Several people came to comfort me. Miss Mia, don't be upset. Let's continue. Leave now, you two, quickly. Alex and Chloe looked at me in shock. Who are you? They stammered. Leave now, Sophia yelled, losing her temper. Security, get these two beggars out of here. Embarrassing. Fake invitations too, I bet. Finally, amid the laughter and jeers, security took them away. I invested in a few small companies at the event. As for Alex, I think it's time to speed up the acquisition process. It's not fun anymore. Now that they know my identity, it's no longer interesting. The next day, Alex called. His tone was noticeably more respectful, at least not as arrogant or malicious as before. Mia, can we meet? I smiled. Sure. I was curious to see how far he would go. He is harsh on others and on himself. When we met, the first thing he did was apologize. I'm sorry. I was wrong in the past, Mia. I've broken off the engagement with Chloe. Can you give me another chance? He looked at me with deep emotion. I really love you. I told you before, back then, I didn't know your identity. I didn't love you because you're the daughter of a wealthy family. Mia, you can feel my sincerity, right? I waved him off. Hold on a minute. I feel a bit nauseous, like I want to throw up. Alex, I came to see you today to say that I'm very interested in your company. I'm planning to buy it. Get ready for it. As for everything else, I'm not interested. I was about to leave when he suddenly pulled me into his arms, holding me tightly. I won't let you go. I've lost you once. I won't again. I pushed him away. Alex, I'm still planning a friendly takeover. If there's a next time, you better watch out. I won't let you get away with it. He didn't try anything else. I left, but I never expected that Alex and I would end up in the news. Ethan saw it too. He held the photos and asked me, Is he your ex? I shook my head. No. He had a very cold expression. All right, he definitely didn't believe me. I admitted that I did like him before, but we never actually dated. He kept putting me off, saying that we'd be together once the company went public. But after it did, he hooked up with someone else and dumped me. Ethan snorted. So you married me because of that? What could I say? At that time, I only wanted to focus on my career. My dad told me to marry him, so I agreed right away. Ethan, I swear, after we got married, I never had any ties with him. I've always been against him, you know that. Hearing this, his expression softened a bit. I continued, I'm even planning to buy his company. I haven't acted yet because I wanted to toy with him. The cat and mouse game is interesting, but now he knows who I am, so he wouldn't dare go against me. Do you still like him? Ethan suddenly interrupted me. I didn't catch up with his pace and shook my head a bit late. I don't like him anymore. I've long since stopped. You hesitated, he pointed out. Ethan, you're being unreasonable. Then how can I make you believe me? He took my phone. Post on social media, announce our relationship. What? I was shocked. Weren't we waiting for the right time? Not posting. Then you still love him. I took my phone and directly posted something. For the rest of our lives, I just want to share the mundane with you, to face all that the world has to offer together. To Ethan. Happy now? I handed him my phone. I clearly saw him smirk, but the next second he masked it with a serious face again. If you feel forced, you can delete it. I took a deep breath and hugged him. What else do you want? How about I chase after you now? Is that okay? He was hard to soothe. No need. He was really hard to soothe. The next second, just say you love me and we're good. Then soothed again. But did I love him? Chloe asked to meet me. I broke off my engagement with Alex. I know, Alex already told me. She gave a self-mocking laugh and looked at me. Do you think I'm being foolish? I used to be as foolish as you. I saw my past self in her. But Chloe, there's one thing. There's never been any real grudge between us. If I wanted to compete with you for Alex, you wouldn't stand a chance against me. She nodded. Yeah, I know now. Before, I was arrogant and saw you as my rival. I'm sorry. I didn't accept her apology because I never regarded her as important. She didn't even deserve to apologize to me. We're not from the same world. I didn't need to dwell on this. Don't contact me again. We have nothing to talk about. I stood up and left, but she gave me an idea. I had to cherish Ethan. I didn't want him to end up like her. I needed to tell him that I was no longer with him just for the benefits. I liked him, even just a little now, but it would grow. But then I saw Marcus in Ethan's company lobby. He was also surprised to see me. Why are you here? The next second, he sneered. Did you come to collaborate with Ethan? Mia, I have no idea what you're thinking. With that little lousy company of yours, you think you can work with Ethan? Ridiculous. So you're here for a collaboration too? He lifted his chin. I'm different from you. Ethan will definitely work with me. No, I said with certainty. Ethan definitely won't work with you. He got angry. What did you say? You don't know shit. I rolled my eyes and called security. Throw him out. Mia, are you an idiot? Who gave you the right? Yes, ma'am, the security guard answered and had Marcus escorted out. He was dumbfounded. Poor guy. Try watching the news more often. A year later, I successfully acquired Alex's company and became the new CEO. At the party that day, Alex's family attended. He watched me from afar, not daring to come closer. I looked back and met his mom's gaze. She quickly nodded and plastered on a pained smile, like she was caught red-handed. I raised an eyebrow, but my view was blocked. It was Ethan. Enjoying the view? He asked coldly. My picky husband was at it again. Not at all. They're not worth looking at. Only you are, I said, hugging him to comfort him. Then say you love me. Sure, I love you. You're lying. I mean it. Then prove it. I was losing patience. Ethan, stop being unreasonable. I say I love you and I mean it. Do you dare to question it? The next 3 days, don't expect to get out of bed. No choice. My husband's a bit of a piece of work, so I had to stand my ground. Now, I'm a legit boss too. And I really do love you, Ethan. He pushed me away and led me out. Go change your clothes. Don't wear that dress again. It's only for me to see. So, my husband, what did this dress ever do to you?